Nope. Okay. All right. Welcome to the Meet Damien channel here, guys. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be talking about the stablecoin bill that just got passed. And then we'll take a look at some of the cryptocurrencies. We'll start with Bitcoin first, and look at the charts for Bitcoin, and then we'll look at some of the other major market cryptocurrencies out there, such as like AVAX and SUI. Ethereum and XRP, Bitcoin, of course. But yeah, let's look at what happened here today. We have a stablecoin bill that just came out, and the stablecoin bill basically got passed by a bipartisan vote. Both Democrats and Republicans voted for the Genius Act is the name of this stablecoin bill. Okay. And it passed, I believe, with a 60. Yes, here we go. 66 to 32 on the vote. They needed to have a 60 vote threshold, so they were able to get that. With both Democrats and Republicans, mainly the Republicans, helped push this bill through. But they will also get some of the Democrats to join in. It looks like Democratic support to proceed with the legislation was unlocked after a group of bipartisan negotiators, Senator Bill Hagerty, Senator Cynthia Lummis, Mark Warner, Kristen Gilbert, Angela Alsobrooks, and Ruben Gallagher. They reached an agreement late last week on an amendment to the bill that addressed key sticking points for Democrats. The amendment, which Democrat negotiators circulated over the weekend and has been obtained by NBC News, includes new changes to consumer protection safeguards and limits on tech companies issuing stablecoins, and it would extend ethics standards to special government employees, which would temporarily apply to Elon Musk and David Sachs. In exchange for the negotiation changes, Democrats involved in the discussion said they have committed to support advancing the Genius Act, according to multiple sources familiar with the talks. Senate Republicans have been non-committal about backing the amendment, but the updated changes are likely to get more Democrats on board beyond the core group involved in the negotiations. So yeah, very good news. I want to share this good bit of news with you guys here. That is very good news to see that getting passed and moving along here. All right, I just had to do a quick sound check there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the price of Bitcoin on the charts. I did title the live stream here for my YouTube streamers. I did title that Bitcoin could possibly see new all-time highs later on this week. And we'll get into it. Right now, Bitcoin currently trading $106,700. Up about 1% this for today. And Bitcoin is just, all systems go right now to try and make a new all-time high here. We have to beat the all-time high here of like 109,358 back on January 20th. Okay, that's the high water mark that we're trying to beat. That might happen this week. Okay, Bitcoin's above all its moving averages supports here. It's above most of the resistance that we've seen on the VRVP. And it just has to now just contend against some of these candle wicks here at like 107,200, 107,291 back on January. But there's really not much resistance for Bitcoin to just pop its head above $109,000 here. So yeah, I think Bitcoin is ready to go for higher prices here. And I have done previous analysis here with using the Fibonacci levels here. If Bitcoin continues its bullish momentum and getting bids, we could see right here on the 1618, we could see Bitcoin get up to like $127,000. Okay, and then there's even a crazier target where we could see Bitcoin get up to like $160,000. I created a YouTube short and a TikTok video explaining how I see Bitcoin going $160,000. And it would actually be normal for Bitcoin to do that, because if I turn on this other indicator here, the Pi cycle indicator, is pretty useful. You have to have it on the daily time frame, but the Pi cycle indicator is saying, this green line, that Bitcoin has to get to $160,000 before it's considered overheated and overbought. That's where this green line is sitting at. And the Pi cycle indicator, I'll just briefly go through it. has been used in the past cycles here to predict the top of Bitcoin. When the orange line, okay, let me get rid of the moving averages real quick so you don't get confused. When that orange line catches up to the green line and the orange line gets above the green line, that's usually the top of Bitcoin, okay? This happened back in April of 2021, all right, where we topped out on Bitcoin when Bitcoin was trading around like $63,000. That was a good time to sell Bitcoin with the Pi cycle indicator. We had a drop down where we lost 50% of the value, and Bitcoin was trading at like $28,000, I believe, somewhere in that area. Okay, but then Bitcoin came back up to $60,000, and some people might say this was a fluke, but the real top was right here in April. Okay. So Pi cycle indicator is very useful for those who know how to use it. It also predicted the top of Bitcoin back here in 2017, okay, where we saw that, once again, that orange line try to catch up to the green line as the price of Bitcoin went up exponentially to $19,000. That orange line crossed in December of 2017, and that was a good time to sell your Bitcoin, okay? When that Pi cycle indicator orange line gets above the green line, okay? Right now, we're kind of safe, okay? If I go back to where we are right now, okay, this orange line is trying to catch up to the green line, all right? But it still hasn't done that yet, okay? That green line is sitting at $160,000. So I would say, you know, if Bitcoin gets $160,000, then I would be a little bit worried that Bitcoin might be overbought, and we might have to chill out a little bit, okay? And it might, but if that orange line catches up to the green line on the Pi cycle indicator, then I'm gonna call that the top, because it's been right twice already. And if it does it again, it might be right a third time. All right, I got some comments in the live stream here. Unknown is saying, "Where do I learn how to trade?" You're in the right area. I am a day trader. I've been investing in well, I've been investing in stocks since I was 18 years old, and I've been investing in crypto since 2017. So I've been trading and investing for years now, and this would be a good place to start learning to learn how to trade. I do have a tutorial video on YouTube that you might want to check out on how to read a chart. Okay, maybe I can pull that up real quick here. If I go into my YouTube. Go into my channel. Let's see what do we got here? What do we got? View my channel. Okay, I have a Meet Damien YouTube. I think might be useful for you to come check out some of the videos, the tutorial videos. I have a video here on how to read a candlestick chart. Okay.
Candle, a green candle.
So it's like a 14-minute video, but I explained everything as far as like what we're looking at with the charts and the indicators that I use. Might be useful for you to take a look at my YouTube channel here and learn how to trade, or at least how to read the chart. Would be a good place to get started. All right. Let's see. And then when you do start trading, I would probably go on an exchange where you can do demo trading, so you're not really using your money. And then when you get comfortable actually trading and investing, you could start using your actual money to try to make some money in the markets. But I would suggest you do some demo trading first before you try to do actual trading with real money that belongs to you. Okay. I see 00 Trading says that stablecoins don't move. Okay. That is the whole point of stablecoins, all right? But this stablecoin legislation that got passed by, by Congress is very important for us to have, because now the banks, like JP Morgan, just said that they'll now start advertising to their customers that they can buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin, okay, using JP Morgan, okay. So that's a big deal. Now the banks are starting to warm up to cryptocurrencies, okay, because of this legislation. So that stablecoin bill was very important for us to get, very important. And with stablecoins, it just allows people to get in and out out of crypto, get exposure to crypto, and then they can use their stable coins to go buy other cryptos. So I see that being beneficial to everybody that this thing passed. But yeah, stable coins by nature in their name, they're supposed to be stable. They're supposed to be pegged to $1. They're not really supposed to be moving. So yeah, you are right about that. They don't really move. That's the whole point. The whole point of stable coins. Let's get into, we'll take a look at AVAX. I think AVAX is having a pretty decent day. It's cryptocurrency that we don't really talk about that much, but we'll get into it. And then we'll look at the SUI after this. So AVAX is currently trading at $22.74. I got pretty much a naked chart here. What I do like about AVAX Avalanche here is we had a double bottom that got respected. So the bottom, I believe, is in because of this. And then we're also creating some higher lows here and also some higher highs, which leads me to believe that AVAX Avalanche will continue climbing up to higher prices. Maybe we might see the $30 level. Let me go ahead and turn the VRVP to see what the VRVP has to say about levels here. We could get some resistance at about like 26 bucks here if AVAX continues climbing up, and then some more resistance around like 27 or 28 bucks. But then the volume drops off on the VRVP, and we might not see any more resistance until we get to like 35 bucks, or even the value area high, this white line at $37. So I see a $30 price level for AVAX in the near future if we just continue being bullish here. You know, with Bitcoin threatening to go to all-time highs again, I can see this thing back at 30 bucks in no time, in short order here. Let's go ahead and turn on the moving averages, see what the moving averages are doing. The moving averages are probably going to provide some resistance that we already know about, okay, with the VRVP. But the 100-day is acting as resistance right now at 26 bucks. Once we get past that and we can flip it from resistance to support, then we can start seeing if this thing can get past the 200-day, which is sitting at like $29.50, and then try to flip that from resistance into support, and then it's going to just springboard itself back up to higher prices here. If AVAX for some reason becomes bearish, we could lose the point of control, the blue line here at 22 bucks roughly, and we might come down to probably like this area where we traded sideways a little bit for a few days here at like 19-20 bucks here. But if we lose 19-20 bucks, then you know something is probably wrong with AVAX, and you're probably going to see this thing come down to the value area low here at like $17, or maybe even retest the bottoms here that it made back in April, where we saw this thing get as low as 14 bucks. But I find that highly doubtful if Bitcoin is going up to new all-time highs here. I would stick to the upside targets rather than the downside targets. I think we might have seen the lowest prices for AVAX back in April and March here, and you're probably never going to see AVAX below 20 bucks again going forward into 2025. All right, let's we'll take a look at SUI after this, and then if you guys got some requests, you start throwing them in there. Yeah. Let's take a look at SUI. SUI, almost like sushi. Okay, so I got the VRVP here. I'll get rid of that for now. I have some previous chart analysis with the Fibonacci where we measured from the high here that SUI got up to like $4.27 or 29 cents back on Monday, May 12th. Currently, SUI's trading at $3.90. It's looking pretty good and pretty healthy in my eyes here. Just getting some consolidation. But if SUI decides to make a deeper retracement, we could see SUI probably come down to the 0.5 retracement level here at $3.20, which is where some of these moving averages are sitting at. You got the 200 at $3.39. You got the 100 at $3.34. So actually, it's a little bit higher than that, but the 200 should provide some support for SUI if we do come down. So I think a $3.40 SUI might actually be a deal to be getting if you're able to get it for that price now. But if SUI continues being bullish and we don't go down to those levels, then we could see SUI head up to like $5.59 here. That's the 1618 using this Fibonacci analysis. And that would probably be new all-time highs, because I don't think Sui's ever been that high. We've seen Sui up as high as like $5.35, $5.37 back in January. Yeah, that would be nice to see Sui. I think Sui's capable of getting up to $5 in the future here. Probably sooner rather than later, especially if Bitcoin is making new all-time highs. I think Sui's going to come join the party and make new all-time highs as well. Alrighty, let's look at Ethereum, and then we'll take a look at XRP and maybe Solana. Alright, so here we go. We're looking at Ethereum trading at 25.06. I did do a YouTube short earlier today and a TikTok about where I could see Ethereum going for the upside and downside targets for May of 2025. And right now, you know, Ethereum is sandwiched between the 200-day and the 100-day. 100 days providing support at like 24.67. The 200 days providing resistance at 2,700 bucks. If Ethereum can catch a bid and actually get more buyers, we want to see Ethereum get above the 200-day, flip it from resistance into support, and then the Fibonacci analysis is saying that we could see Ethereum get up to like 3,300 bucks here. Okay, that's the 1618 Fibonacci extension right there. And then we also have a 2618 that says we could see a $4,200 Ethereum probably later on in 2025. Okay. But if Ethereum decides to come down for whatever reason and surprise us to the downside, we do have some moving average support here. The 50-day is sitting at $2,081. And then we have the 21 EMA at 22.42. These moving averages, I see some a good amount of support between $2,000 and $2,200. That's also where this Fibonacci is also saying. You got the 0.236 level saying that, you know, we should get some support at $2,000, and also the 0.382 saying that we should get, you know, $2,100 Ethereum. Someone's probably gonna be buying that up, especially if they're trading using Fibonacci over here. Those are the levels that they're targeting. Okay, but you know, if Bitcoin is gonna go to all-time highs, I can't see why Ethereum would ever come back down to revisit these levels here. We might actually never see Ethereum go down to $2,000 or below that, if the Bitcoin's going to continue being bullish here. So that's Ethereum upside and downside targets here. We'll take a look at XRP now. XRP currently trading at $2.35. XRP has been one of the stronger high market cap cryptocurrencies out there, mainly because it only went down below its 200-day moving average for like a few days in April, and then it got the bounce off, and it's been above the 200-day moving average, which we can't really say the same thing for Ethereum. Okay, so surprisingly, XRP has been holding pretty strong, even though we had the little downdraft in January and February, going into March and April, where the altcoins mainly got destroyed. XRP didn't. Okay. And what I'm liking about XRP is that the moving averages are pretty tight. You know, you got the 100, the 50, and the 200 right next to each other. This leads me to believe that an explosive move is going to be coming soon here. And it usually, I mean, if we're going to be bullish, it's going to be an explosive move to the upside. I mean, it could be an explosive move to the downside as well. But with Bitcoin near all-time highs, I'm thinking this is favoring the longs and the bulls here. And we could see XRP get up to like $3, as I have said in previous analysis here. If I throw in the VRVP, you'll see that this thing could shoot up like a rocket because there's not that much resistance on the VRVP. You got a very steep drop in volume here, and then the value area high is sitting at about like roughly $3 here. Okay, and then you got a high volume node here like $3.13. So I'm targeting $3.13 to the upside on XRP. Okay. And then maybe at some point, using Fibonacci from when, you know, XRP was at 52 cents to the high that it made here at $3.40, we could see the 1618 take us to an XRP of $5 XRP. Okay, you could get a $5 XRP. You basically doubling your money right now. I think that's going to happen for XRP investors here, especially with that stablecoin bill passing. that was very beneficial to XRP because XRP is trying to make banking easier for the banks here in the future, and now the banks can actually participate in crypto with that stablecoin bill passing. So that was actually very beneficial to XRP. Okay, and I think XRP is probably going to see $5 later on in the future here, later on in 2025. Alrighty, let's take a look at Solana. And I'm trying to see if anybody has any requests here, guys. If you have a cryptocurrency you want me to talk about next, go ahead and put those requests in, and don't forget to hit that like button. So when you hit that like button, it lets YouTube know that I'm and TikTok know that I'm actually putting out some good content here, and it's gonna get some more people to come join us on this live stream. So I appreciate that if you guys can do that for me. I see that Jeff said, since you're analyzing Sui, what do you think about lo-fi? Okay, is that a request? We could look at lo-fi. I want to look at Solana first, and then we'll look at lo-fi. Okay. Appreciate the requests. Let's see if did I miss anything else here. Just lo-fi. Okay. All right. And let's see. Stein are you requesting block DAG? I think that's sounds like a cryptocurrency to me. Block DAG. All right. Yeah, let's get into analysis here with Solana. Let me clean things up here a little bit. Get rid of this BRVP for now. Solana is currently trading at 167 bucks. Hope you guys are able to see that. Should be above my head. Okay. Actually, let me just adjust the camera here so you guys can actually see me. You can barely see me. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. So Solana is contending against some moving average resistance here. The 200-day moving average is also acting as resistance. So, you know, we already seen XRP is above the 200-day. Solana needs to get above that 200-day for it to be considered bullish here. And that's 200-day moving average sitting at 181 bucks. There should be some more sell side action in that area. But if Solana can get above 200 bucks, then we do have a Fibonacci analysis here that says that we could see the 1618 level and Solana get up to like 234 bucks. And if I throw on the VRVP here, I think it would kind of agree with that. Let's see. Give it a chance to adjust itself. Yeah, there's some high volume here, like 239 and 236. So I think that's a good area to be targeting if you're bullish on Solana. And then of course we got a lot of volume here, like 170 to 180 bucks is where we're gonna get the first resistance. And then once we flip 180 to support on Solana, then we do have like the value area high saying that there could be some more resistance at 194, 195 bucks. Right before Solana hits the psychological $200 target. But I think after you get past 200 bucks, the volume starts to drop here, and there's a little bit of resistance at like 210 and 215. But I think you're ultimately targeting about 237 for Solana on the upside targets here. And then if Solana does come down, right, if we start losing our support here, we do have the 50-day, which could provide support, and that's sitting at about 146 bucks. Let me get rid of this VRVP. And then we also have a fib level here. The 0.5 retracing level is also sitting at 144 bucks, 145 bucks. So I think $145 should be a good support area if Solana starts losing the bids here. All right, let's move on to lo-fi, and then we'll take a look at block DAG. So let's see, lo-fi USD, and this is on Mexi exchange. Let me just adjust the camera here a little bit more. I feel like people could barely see me. All right, let's see. I see Beyond Illusions in the chat. Nice to see you. You want me to take a look at the Velodrome? I could probably do that for you. Yeah, Velodrome. Not to be confused with Aerodrome, right? This is a different crypto. And then you want me to also look at Cookie DAO? Okay, Cookie. We'll take a look at Cookie. Well, let me get into Lo-Fi here. Lo-Fi currently trading at 0.069 pennies, almost 7 pennies here. I gotta get familiar with this chart. What has it done before? It looks like this thing started trading on Mexi Exchange in December of 2024. Okay. And we've seen it blast up because of the altcoin season in December. And this thing got as high as 27 cents almost. I see Trade Intuition's in there. Hey, Trade Intuition, appreciate you coming in to the live stream. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button so we can get some more people to come join these streams here. Alright, so we're looking at Lo-Fi. Lo-Fi obviously got the blow off top here in December of 2024. Got dragged and beaten down with the rest of the altcoins here as I become familiar with this chart. I do like the fact, so I don't really have that many moving averages data because this thing is relatively new. But I do like the fact that you are creating some higher highs and higher lows here as you try to recover from basically bottoming out here in April for a Lo-Fi. Okay, and the moving averages are starting to appear on the chart here on the daily time frame, and it looks like you're above the 100 and the 21 and the 50 moving average. So this thing is looking pretty solid, getting above those moving averages. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on the VRVP. I feel like that will be a little bit more useful here. Turn on the VRVP. And this is saying that we do have a high volume node currently where we're at right now at like 0.068 pennies here. But once you get past that, the volume does drop and you got a little bit of a value area high at 8 cents. And once you get past that, I mean, the volume drops off and this thing could be off to the races. I see some more resistance at like 13, 14 cents here. And then just using the VRVP, there might be some more at like 17 cents. And that makes sense because just about anybody that bought Lo-Fi in like December and January, they probably feel trapped right now. And if they have an ego problem, they're probably going to not want to sell until it gets back to break even. And most of these people, they bought at like 13, 14 cents. So that's going to be the people who are going to be selling on you when this thing does climb back up to 13, 14 cents. So I think 13, 14 cents should be your take profit target. And then after that, I mean, we don't know if this thing can get back up to like 28, 27 cents here. But that would probably be your next target if you can make it past 14 cents. And you basically would double your money with Lo-Fi at this current moment in time. All right, let's take a look at Block DAG. Is that Block DAG wrapped Ether on Ethereum? This is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this thing. I'll click on it and see what comes up here. Dude, what the hell? What the hell happened? Oh, that's Thursday. I mean that's September 2024. What? Dude, what is up with this thing? I don't know if this is a fluke on the chart. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong chart here, but this thing went up exponentially back in August and September. Had a blow off top here in September. This thing was trading at like 0.0029 pennies. Had a very vicious, oh my god, 100% drop in price. This is weird. I might need you to give me the actual ticker symbol here. I feel like I'm looking at something wrong here. You're saying that is a pre-sale? Alright, I don't know. Someone's giving me a call right now. Guys, I have to... I gotta find out who this is, but... Give me a second here, guys. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, guys, I'm back with you. Sorry about that. Another business phone call. I run a rental car business, so had somebody call me, tell me that they're bringing the car back right now. All right. Let's see. We're looking at block DAG, but I don't know if this is good data. This is just a weird looking chart. But let me get rid of the VRVP here real quick. And this is, I mean, what am I supposed to do with this? You can't trade this. You can't trade or invest this. This is crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at another chart here. I can't really do anything with this analysis. We're gonna look at the Velodrome by my man Beyond Illusion here with the request. Hopefully, you guys, can I do a sound check? Make sure you guys are able to hear me. Okay, I think I can hear myself. All right. Yeah. So here we are looking at Velodrome. Finance. Okay. I'm wondering if this is a decentralized finance exchange here. This thing is currently trading at 6 cents. We're looking at like a naked chart right now. I don't really have anything going on. I'm just getting familiar with the chart. Looks like this thing also had a blow off top in December of 2024. Really crazy wick here. This thing went up 84% on Friday the 13th in December. Jesus Christ. Opening up at like 14 cents and closing at 27 cents. Got as high as 37 cents. Jesus. So this thing has made some moves. But looks like it actually was trading on Coinbase exchange here back in like March of 2024. And this thing had like a 39-cent high. So that's actually, this is actually a lower high than that high. So that's not good to see. You want to be making higher highs if you're going to be considered bullish here. But yeah, this thing has dropped down like the rest of the altcoins here in the beginning of 2025. Is there any hope that we bottom out here? Let's see. I see the low watermark here. We got as low as like 3.5 cents. And you know, I feel like the music is a little bit too loud here, guys. What the? I guess it's all right. But yeah, anyways, going back here with the analysis here, this thing bottomed out here in April. Low watermark was 3.5 cents. Basically doubled from that level here. And you just want to see yourself creating higher lows, which we obviously are doing right now, which is good to see. But then you also want to be creating higher highs. The last high here I see was at like 8.083 pennies. Is that higher than the highs here back in February? Let's see, this thing was 0.076. So yeah, you are creating some higher highs than what you were doing about a few months ago. And I guess the last higher high that you want to get above, you want to get above this high at like 0.0837 pennies on February 13th. Yeah, I think you barely got above that. So that is going to be your resistance right now, as I see on the chart, right here. Okay, get above that level, and I can become even more bullish on this crypto. And let me go ahead and turn on the moving averages, see what the moving averages are doing. Okay, so what I've seen right now is when we do start going to higher prices here, this 100-day moving average, this blue line is going to act as resistance at like 0.081 pennies. So I think 0.081 pennies is probably going to be your target for now. It is where the previous high was in February, and you also have the 100-day moving average is going to probably keep you from going past 8 pennies. But if you can get past 8 pennies, then I've seen the 200-day moving average. That's probably going to be the next resistance level at like 9.5 pennies for Velodrome. And yeah, I mean, if you get past that, then you can get even more bullish on this crypto. I'm going to have to see what the levels are like on the VRVP here. We got a value area high sitting at 12 cents. That could be another target price for you, and you basically be doubling your money. But then after 12 cents, the volume drops off, and I see some resistance at like 17 cents, and then some more at like 19 cents. That's where prices were like kind of trading at sideways here in December and January. That's probably going to be where you should take profit, because anybody that got trapped any longs that got trapped over here, they're gonna want to just break even, and they're gonna be selling just to break even. But you're gonna be hopefully selling at profit, and you're gonna be doing that at like 17 or 18 cents, and you basically would be tripling your investment with this this cryptocurrency. I didn't really give downside targets. If this thing does decide to go down for whatever reason, you do have high volume node here at like 5 cents, so that could be a good area to catch this crypto at lower prices. And then you got the value area low at like 4.5 cents. Hopefully you're able to maintain 4.5 cents, because if you lose 4.5 cents, then something is clearly wrong with this crypto, this asset, and you probably don't want to stick around to find out. As this thing, you know, if it loses 4.5 cents, I mean, how far low are you going to go? Are you going to revisit the lows here at 3 cents again? I don't know. But I think going from 4.5 pennies to 3 pennies, that's a steep drop. That's almost like what, I believe like a 33% drop. Yeah, you probably don't want to stick around for that. All right, let's see. I got some more requests here, I believe. Zero Bro. We'll take a look at that one. Appreciate the requests. Don't forget to hit the like button. Especially if I'm going over your crypto and I'm giving you this free analysis. The least you could do is just hit that like button. Appreciate that. We're going to look at Cookie, and then we're going to look at the Zero Bro. Cookie DAO, I believe that's the one, yeah. Or Cookie, yeah, Cookie DAO. Looking at Cookie DAO now, trading at 15.5 cents. Looking at the daily time frame here, I got the VRVP showing me some levels and some high volume nodes here. Right now the POC is at 15 cents, so that should be your support level. If you go below that, you could come down to the value area low at like 13.5 cents. I think would be a good area to scoop this thing up if it does come down to that level. But if Bitcoin's going to become bullish and go to all-time highs here, then we probably don't have to worry about lower levels here. We have to start worrying about the higher levels here. This thing needs to get past 16 cents, but then once it gets past like 16 and 17 cents, there's a drop in the VRVP. And then we're looking at like maybe 18 cents as resistance, and then also 18.5 cents. And then once you get past that 18.5 cent level, then the VRVP drops again significantly, and then you got a value area high sitting at 20 cents. I think 20 cents is going to be a level that a lot of traders are going to just target. It's a psychological level, and you know, that's just where the value area high is sitting at. Now, I don't have much data other than that. I feel like this thing probably has been around longer than what is traded here on Coinbase. Let me look at Cookie on Binance Exchange. I believe there should be more data. Yep, of course. Yep. So this thing was trading back here in January of 2025. So this thing is relatively new. And I do have previous chart work here. Looks like my chart work was saying that we had a 2618 where we could get like a 42-cent cookie, and then there's a 3618 saying that we could see a 56-cent cookie. And then now looking at the VRVP data, I mean, I do see here some high volume node at like 40 cents. So I think 40 cents could possibly be a long-term target for your cookie. And we also have the 1618 saying that, you know, about 29 cents could be where Cookie goes. But I don't really see too much volume at 29 cents on the VRVP. So this thing could just go blow right past 30 cents and head on its way up to 42 cents if it continues being bullish. But yeah, let's see. Value area high sitting at 26 cents according to this, the data that we got here. Alright, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, downside targets, if this thing was to start dropping for any reason, you got a high volume node here at 13 cents. That could provide you some support. And that looks like that's the value area low right now. And if you lose 13 cents, then this thing probably going to come down to a deeper retracement and come down to like 10 cents, where the 0.236 fib level is sitting at. Is at 10 cents. So You could lose 33% of your money if it does that. Just keep that in mind as you're over here hoping that it does go to higher prices. So there's your downside targets and your upside targets for Cookie. And now we'll look at Zero Bro. See what we can find here with Zero Bro. I think I typed that in right. It's on Binance Exchange. We'll take a look at that. I don't think I ever looked at this cryptocurrency. Appreciate the request. It's new to me. Let's see. This thing started trading on Binance. Oh my god. Dropping like a rock on January 2nd here. This thing was trading as high as like 67. Oh, as high as like 73 cents here. Yikes. So almost all these people just got completely annihilated and blown out of the water with their investment in Zero Bro. Zero Bro heading to zero, bro. Or at least that's what it felt like for some of these investors back here in January and February. This thing started to bottom out. And I'm zooming in now. This thing bottomed out in April, like most other cryptocurrencies here. And I'm looking at the VRVP for the data. You got the POC sitting at like 4.5 cents, so we're currently below that. This thing might get attracted to go back to that POC level, but it's going to act as resistance until they can flip this into support. And if they're able to flip this into support, you can climb up and probably get to the value high at like 0.057 pennies here. And it looks like the VRVP data drops off, and then you got another high volume at like 7 cents. So that makes sense. 7 cents here. Okay, what is this? Enable that. Thank you. But yeah. Looks like you got some candlewick highs here that could provide some resistance. You got one here at sitting at like 9.5 cents. Another one at 0.096 pennies and 0.093 pennies. I think 9 cents is going to be your boss level of resistance in the near future here. But if it gets up to 9 cents, you're basically doubling your money, right? For the most part. Let's see. If we do come down, we start losing the bids here, and we come down to lower levels. You do have the value area low sitting at about 2.5 cents. Could be where you could scoop up some cheaper Zero Bro. But if Zero Bro is going to live up to his name and actually go to Zero Bro, then you might revisit the lows here in April, where this thing came down as low as 0.018 pennies. A little bit under 2 cents. And if you lose that, then you definitely are heading to zero. Because I don't know what to say. This thing has destroyed a lot of investors over the last few months here. Yikes. Let me get rid of the VRVP. We'll see if any moving averages, what the moving averages are doing here. 50-day moving average, they were treating this as support today. We're a little bit above it right now. It's sitting at 0.037 pennies. That would be nice if we could just stay above 0.037 pennies, and then you can start game planning, you know, how high this thing could possibly go for you. But if we lose that 50-day moving average, I can see us coming right down to like 2 cents. So I really don't see any moving average support here. Maybe if I go into the 4-hour, maybe the 4-hour has something. Oh no, oh no, you're losing the 200 moving average on the 4-hour. That's not good. Maybe the 8-hour. See what the 8-hour is doing. Yeah, you got a 200 moving average. The red line here could act as support at 3.0367 pennies. So you're kind of in like a battleground right now for Zero Bro. If you lose 0.037, you're gonna probably come on down to like 2 pennies again on this crypto. So I think that was Zero Bro. Let's see. Do I have any other requests here? Mara wants to know, where's Bitcoin going now? We'll take a look at Bitcoin again. Appreciate that request. And then I think I might want to look at Bitcoin dominance, see if that thing is coming down or if it's climbing up still. We got Bitcoin showing a price of $106,338. And let's see. You did ask where could Bitcoin go. Interesting. I know my Fibonacci here, but let me go ahead and pull out the Fibonacci analysis here. We're measuring from $107,000 down to the lows in April, where we came down like $74,000. And I have a 1618 saying that Bitcoin could go to $127,000. And then the 2618 saying that Bitcoin could go to $159,000. That might be later on this year. And if I turn on the cycle indicator, you're going to see something interesting here on the daily time frame here. Pi cycle indicator is showing that this green line is showing that we could see $160,000 Bitcoin, and it wouldn't be weird. It would actually be, normal. It might be overbought at that level, but the Pi cycle indicator says that $160,000 should be a target for you as well. Probably later on this year, we might see Bitcoin hit $160,000. That's what I'm seeing. With both the Fibonacci agreeing with that, and also the Pi cycle indicator agreeing that 160 grand could be in play. Yeah, I think that's the long-term targets for Bitcoin. But near term, we might see $127,000. I'm not sure if it'll happen this month, but maybe next month or sometime in July, maybe. We might see $127,000 Bitcoin according to the Fibonacci here. And then as I start zooming in on the Fibonacci, we do want to see Bitcoin stay above $100,000 at this point. That's where the 0.786 retracement level is on the fib levels here. And also the 21 EMA is sitting at about 100,993. So we want to stay above basically $101,000 in order for us to remain bullish here on Bitcoin. Because if we start losing those levels, then yeah, we're going to come down into the 90s again. $90,000 Bitcoin one more time if we can't defend 101. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea about Bitcoin and the levels here. We did talk about early in the live stream. Maybe you might be able to rewind it and see it again. You can also go on my YouTube channel and watch the live stream again as well, in case you missed out the analysis on Bitcoin. But yeah, that's my summary analysis on Bitcoin. We are threatening to go to all-time highs here, but we need to stay above $101,000 in order for us to continue threatening to go to all-time highs. Let's look at the BTC dominance and see how that is influencing the markets. And I'll get rid of the Pi single. We don't really need that no more. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at market cap dominance for Bitcoin at 64%. And although we kind of dropped here early in May, BTC dominance is climbing back up again. So BTC looks like it wants to steal the show and show us that we can go to higher prices here, possibly. And, if Bitcoin goes above $110,000, in my opinion, then this thing is probably going to go up higher, because all the new people that that have been thinking about getting into crypto, when they see $110,000 Bitcoin, that's like a big advertisement that, yes, you got to go buy Bitcoin. They might not be excited to see that Ethereum is not making all-time highs. So I think everybody will just be like, you know what? I'll buy Bitcoin. Seems like the safe bet. And market cap dominance for Bitcoin could just continue climbing up, as it's been doing since 2022. It's been climbing up and to the right. We threatened to go below like the 200-day moving average here in December. This was your altcoin season. So I don't know if we're going to get an altcoin season if BTC dominance continues climbing up higher. You're getting a bounce off the 50-day moving average, that green line. And I'll do a quick fib analysis here, which could tell us like where BTC dominance could go if it continues climbing higher. we have a 1618 saying that we could see a BTC dominance of like 67% of the total market cap is just strictly Bitcoin. Okay, so that is your target on BTC dominance here. If BTC keeps stealing the show and taking all the money from all the other altcoins and going into Bitcoin. But this Fibonacci level is saying, let's see, 0.236. I mean, we could drop down to 62%, and that would be nice, and then maybe create a lower high on BTC dominance, and that could signify that altcoin season might be ready to start showing up here. You basically want to see BTC dominance just not go up anymore at this point. I mean, it could be possible that, you know, if we get a rejection off the 21 EMA here, we could come back down to the 50-day. That would signal to a lot of investors here that altcoin season might be ready to go. And then, of course, you want to see this thing come down to the 200-day moving average here at like 60%. And that would also signify that altcoin season is here. And then you do want to lose the 200-day moving average. And then you know for damn sure you're in an altcoin season if you just lose this red line. But this thing is trending upwards. I don't know if that's going to be happening anytime soon here. You know, this is when you had your altcoin season, when you lost the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin dominance. That was altcoin season. But that could also signify it might be a good time to sell your altcoins. Okay? Because you could be topping out on altcoins when the 200-day moving average, when BTC dominance goes below the 200-day moving average. That'd be a really good time to sell your altcoins, supposedly. And we'll take a look at the USDT dominance, tether dominance, to see how that's affecting the markets. This one, USDT dominance is trading at 4.6%. This is how much tether is out there, how much money is in tether right now. It's one of the stable coins that should benefit from the stablecoin bill that just got passed in the Senate. But yeah, the reason why we like looking at this chart is because we want USDT dominance to go down, preferably to these levels here back in January and December of 2024, where we saw like a 4% or even like a 3% USDT dominance. If that happens, that means a lot of money is going into altcoins and Bitcoin. We want to see this thing come down. This thing kind of topped out here in the beginning of April 2025, and that was when everybody was scared about the tariffs. So this is good to see that we are now. Let's see, we're losing the 200-day moving average on USDT dominance. That is really good to see. We want to then come down to like I said, 4% or 3%. And we want to see it go even further down than that. Like back here in 2021, we saw USDT dominance as low as like 2%, 2.5%. But that was also near the top for Bitcoin back in April 2021. And we also had here in November of 2021, when Bitcoin topped out at $69,000, we had USDT dominance as low as like 2.4%. So that should be another thing that you need to look out for if we're topping out on Bitcoin and crypto. If USDT dominance gets down to like 2% or 2.5%, I would start selling your crypto, because historically those are the levels where you're topping out on crypto and you're topping out on Bitcoin. So this is a good number to pay attention to let you know if we're getting a little bit overheated and overbought in crypto. Let's see. I'll answer some questions here, but I think I'm done with my analysis here. I gotta do some other things here. I've been live for almost an hour here, but I do have some other things I need to do. Jeff, you're saying Bitcoin is going to go down in going down May 26th? I'm wondering why you think that's the case. Mines of Dollanaria, is that a crypto? I think you'll have to save that for the next live stream here, because I kind of want to wrap things up here. And then, yeah, my thoughts on AVAX and Target. We looked at AVAX early in the live stream here, but I'll look at it one more time for you. AVAX currently trading at $22.55. You do have 100-day moving average acting as resistance at 26 bucks. That should be your first take profit target. Once you get past 100-day moving average, and you can flip that into support instead of resistance. You then have to contend against the 200-day moving average sitting at like $29, $29.55. And of course, if you can push past that, then there's some sideways trading action saying that there's some investors here, some traders want to get out at like 36, 37 bucks. That could be another resistance area, another take profit target. And then, you know, going forward, like, I mean, if you get up to 37 bucks, you should be happy, but we have seen AVAX as high as like 55 bucks in like December of 2024. So maybe you're able to get back to those levels again here. But I want to see AVAX get above 55 bucks and actually make a higher high, because this was terrible to see that, you know, you got as high as like, you know, 60 bucks, 65 bucks in March of 2024, but you weren't able to do that in December. That's concerning. That's a lower high. I don't like that. But I still think you can make some money with AVAX going forward. Downside targets, if we do lose the 50-day moving average, you know, we might come back down to like 19, 20 bucks here. But if you lose that, then, you know, that's going to hurt some more. But then you could probably possibly come down to like 15, 16 bucks. And instead of having a double bottom, maybe you're going to get like a triple bottom with AVAX. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen if Bitcoin's going up to all-time highs later on this week. I think we might see, you know, Bitcoin at $109,000 later on this week, guys. Just the way things are moving. The good news with the Stablecoin Bill, I think Bitcoin's gonna demand everybody's attention later on this week, and yeah, we have a $127,000 price target on Bitcoin just using the Fibonacci analysis here. The 1618 saying that Bitcoin could be $127,000, so don't be surprised if you see it over there. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it from my live stream here. Be on the lookout for when I go live again. I usually go live around this time, or sometimes earlier in the afternoons. On, you know, maybe like 12 or 1 o'clock Eastern time. Jeff, you're asking me about the new moon chart for Bitcoin? Are you talking about like the moon cycles? I'll look at that real quick before you know, since we're already on the Bitcoin chart here. Let me get rid of this for now. But yeah, we'll look at the moon. Because you brought that up here, I'll take a look at the moon cycles. Some people actually trade using whether or not we're in a full moon or a or a new moon here. And I just think that's funny, but apparently it's also accurate. And we do have a... Oh shoot, what's this doing? No, don't end my live. Jesus, come on. Alright, so usually during the new moon, that's a good time to sell. Okay, that means it's time to sell Bitcoin. And the full moon is actually a good time to buy Bitcoin. Right now, we're coming up on like a quarter moon. Okay, so not really time to sell, but probably, according to Jeff, he says May 26th. I think that's when the new moon's going to be occurring. That might be the time to start considering selling Bitcoin. But that would be probably after we're making new all-time highs here. So that it would make sense to sell Bitcoin at that point. Okay. And then, of course, you're just waiting for the next full moon to help you figure out when you should be buying Bitcoin again. Because surprisingly enough, let me just get rid of the moving averages here. Every time we have a full moon, it usually sends Bitcoin up. I'm not sure why. Animal spirits come into play, and people start buying Bitcoin during the full moon. Okay? Every time we have a full moon, according to this chart. And then when we have a new moon, that seems to be a time to like sell Bitcoin. Okay? If you're trading based off of moon cycles, the new moon, sell. The full moon, buy. Alright? And we'll finish off on that. I appreciate that little nugget of information there. That is a little bit entertaining, but also a little bit educational that we have moon cycles to trade off of. All right, guys, that's going to be it. I will see you in the next live stream. Take care, guys.